Hello everyone, good morning. This is Fanny Menardi. Today I am here to present my book about the UNESCOllection. So this is a collection of artworks that I've painted for the last 10 years. Of course, I've sold and gifted a lot of my artworks, but after it started becoming high level and partnering with all the network, painting all the energies and the stories, I stopped selling my art and I kept it because I wanted to keep a good, nice, good collection that we could exhibit all together, that I would like to donate to the UNESCO. So I wanted to give it to the New York headquarters visitor center. Now that I'm applying for UNESCO in Paris, I would love to have a gallery there where we could tour, explain the symbols, explain the art, organize workshops where people can develop their own creativity. So this is the book of the artwork that I still have that are going to be in this exhibition. So I will show you all of them. So this is and explain a little bit. So let me get closer. Okay, so this one is called Mother of Pearls, and you can look at them on high quality on my website, pachamamaart.org, where you can actually download them on high quality for free. But the book is a high quality, but it's just, it's not very bright in here, so the light is not, you can't really see well. Mother of Pearls with the Flower of Life. This is the back of the cards of my oracle, Mother Earth Mandala Oracle. It's just circles, but I love this artwork because it shows that a little drop, it's like little ripples in the water, and the symbolism is that every single one of your actions, little actions all along your life, or every person all around the world, each one of our action is what builds the greater picture of your life or of society. Okay, so each action matters and ripples. This one is the footprint and the handprint of my baby when he was born with the chakana. I painted that before he left to live with his dad. This one is seashells and sun. This is a very small painting. This is the kind of format that we used to paint during the workshops in a 3 hours time, because a big artwork like this or like that one could take me up to a month on bigger format. So during the workshop in 3 hours, we would work on an 8x8 or a 10x10 to have time really to do a full workshop and still have time to talk and enjoy and take the time to paint and meditate. So this one is called the Tree of Life, Tree of Light, and it represents the 4 seasons. You see, you have the winter, where the winter, the spring, the summer, and the autumn. You have the tree here in the middle, and you have words camouflaged here in the painting. So this is a training for the eye, you know, like in the movies when you see like the special agents, they're looking at documents and they see like letters highlighted, like to decode documents and stuff like that. So the paintings, I love to do that. I always camouflage either constellations in the stars or words in the patterns to train the eye to read between the lines and to see the different levels of reading. So this is what we do also in the workshops, what my whole entire encyclopedia is about. So I'm a little slow right now writing my book. The tome 2 is just the isolation. I'm going crazy. I feed from interaction with people, from connection, and just being here isolated doesn't mean that I'm going faster writing a book. It's the opposite. I just like freeze and I'm just going to anxiety. So I just wish that I could come and work to Paris already really soon, so we could work on this book together. I could look at everything that's going on in the UNESCO and report on the book, all of our project, everything we're implementing, what has been done, what we're gonna do, what we're doing. The people, the actors, add material to the book. So you can trust me when I say I'm gonna do something in 90 days. I'm doing it. It's going. I'm gonna post in the next coming days what we've been working on. Right now it's mostly geopolitics. I'm talking about the government, the American governments, what's going on in Venezuela, what's going on in Iran, Afghanistan, and of course the whole communication network. Yeah, I'll post about it. This is this is a board. This one is super cool. It's a small one that was painting on Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within's board. So when you subscribe for the Unleash the Power Within, you receive a box with materials, with a booklet, with a board that they're supposed to break the board in the middle of the workshop. I'm about to sneeze. And so I didn't, excuse me, I kept the board and I painted on it. So this is Thoth with the Tablets of Emerald. This is my logos. Of course, Thoth is the Lord of the Scribes in Egypt. So I've always been very, very connected to him. I've even had visions of being Thoth. Of course, a lot of people can identify and connect with the energy and connect with the memory, okay? But even I had visions of engraving the tablets of Thoth in his cave there, like engraving the tablets and stuff like that. So this is how strong is the shape-shifting, the astral traveling, almost connecting to different memories and past lives and stuff like that, that it manifests. This is why I always say that these artworks are so divine, because you're entering in meditative states where you connect with other people, with other spirits or entities from even other timelines. So it's so powerful, because then just by looking at it, you receive also the energy, but the whole evolutionary process that has happened while we were painting. So, for example, if I'm painting something and it's taking me a month and I'm listening to conferences and I'm doing a whole introspection work and I'm coming out of the painting, I've made some progress in my life. This is the energy that you're going to receive. My whole work that I've done on myself, you're not going to have to go through the whole entire process. You're going to receive the elevated frequency. Okay, this is why it's just like history or like medicine. When you have discoveries from the 1920s that seem so basic to us right now, or even I saw on the Nobel Prize Committee's post, some people commented, "Oh, this guy, I can't believe he received the prize because he invented lobotomy or whatever, stuff that really don't matter or whatever." But it did at the time. It did matter. And even if you're going in a wrong direction, or even if you're making a scientific discovery that was so basic at the time, this is the steps that were needed to know what other directions to go to. And you add on to the progress to go exponentially faster. And it's the same with the energetic work. You're looking at the painting, the whole work, the whole progress that's been done. Like maybe someone comes into the network right now and see how we're communicating, like the Smurf language, like I call it. And people would be like, "Oh yeah, okay, that's so obvious," or "That's so, whatever," just having that judgment on it, or just instantly being able to understand and be like, "Yeah, that's so easy. There's nothing exceptional about it." Yes, because this is the whole decade work that we've done to build it and develop it and master it and connect the people so the people could integrate it and becoming part of the network. You think it's from a day to another that I started communicating with the Department of War, the Pentagon, the White House? I just showed up and they were like, "Oh yeah, come on in, let's work together," No, it's 10 years of going step by steps and And the first, I think the very first partners that I've had was the Resonance Science Foundation. Because when I started painting the flower of life, they were making research on the flower of life and the frequency of symbols, the cymatics, the radionics, so they were proving scientifically the witch stuff that I was saying in painting. So this is how it started, with scientists that we connected, and they were posting things and I was posting art, and they noticed, and then they started posting things related to my art, and I was like, wait a minute, they see what I'm doing? Like, what? The Resonance Science Foundation is looking at my artwork? Oh my God. I started writing to them, hey, take my art to illustrate your science and stuff. And then they never actually replied to me, but they were replying in their own publications, referring to what I was doing. And so, of course, this has been bothering me because I wanted, to have more exposure to my art so people could benefit from it as well. But in the end, it's kind of cool because now I have a whole collection that I haven't sold and that is going to be able to be published at the UNESCO. But so it started with the scientists, and then the mentors started working with me, and we started working on building the business, building the persistence, building the confidence, building how you address people, how you just connect them, sell your art, sell your things, and when I say sell, it's not just sell in terms of money, but sell yourself, and persist until you succeed. And this is really the Tony Robbins, knock at the door, bang on the door until it opens. And that's why I'm so annoying. I always write in every one of my books, be annoying, be relevant. Because if you're just annoying but you're not relevant, they're going to discard you really quick. But be annoying and be relevant and keep being annoying until they have no other choice, because you have to impose yourself into this world to take the place that you want. Okay? So this one is Rainbow Sun. This is the art from my workshop, the Guru Yoga online retreat that we did with some people from Lebanon, from Italy, from everywhere actually. That was a really good workshop. This one is called, I don't know, Talisman, I think. You can really see it's one of my vinyls collection. My pennant, I like to have my pennant like this. Let's keep going. Sacred Temple. This one is Sacred Temple. The Seed of Life, which is one of the stages of the Flower of Life. The Sunshine Factory. This one, of course, is a Taurus. So this is like this was a reference to the Resonance Science Foundation with each one of the scientists. That was the whole board that were doing amazing conferences, and I'm talking about Nassim Haramein, Jamie Janover, Adam Apollo, William Brown, that is extraordinary, an extraordinary biophysicist. You can look at his page. He's always making discoveries about time traveling and entanglement, electrons, all this stuff. Quantum physics. They're super intelligent. That I hope they're going to win the Nobel Prize this year, because they're making such advancement in quantum mechanics, frequency work, energy, the 0-point energy. They found the electromagnetism equation, anti-gravity, gravitational phase equation, all this stuff that is going to be useful for the new next generation spacecraft. Marshall Lefferts, who wrote the cosmometry. I hope I pronounce his name right. There was also Ines Urdaneta, who was also really amazing. They were always, it was funny because every time they would do a conference, there would always be a question about this same woman would ask the same question. Everyone at this conference, she's like, can you talk about the double torus? Can you talk about the double torus? Or the torus is the energy field that we have in our body, but it goes both ways. Like you emit frequency, but you receive frequency as well. And the microcosm, remember, is a mirror of the macrocosm. So this is an energy that works with our body. It also works with the planet in the universe. So that's very interesting how they identify those patterns, because once you understand how to master this energy at our level, the things you can actually see at the micro level, then you're going to be able to master the bigger laws of the universe, because basically it's just scaling. So very, very interesting. Flower of Life with the colors of the chakras. This one is Amazon. So Amazon, the purple crown chakra with the vivid colors. So in the Amazon, when you have vivid colors, it's like defense mechanisms for the animals. So this way, yeah, I like to put the little touches of colors. The peace sign here, that when you turn it around, it's like also a manifestation sign. Chic, this one is just is literally from a carpet. This one, I love this one. It's very simple, and there's no actual really spiritual meaning, but it's my first painting that I sold when I was in Mississippi. I started painting, and I went to, that's not the first one, but in a gallery. I was working in a gallery, and I sold one of my paintings, and there was a carpet. I love carpets. There was a big, big carpet that I wanted to buy. The carpets are expensive. They're like $500. A big, not a small one, but the nice, big, big rugs, they're like $500. I couldn't afford it. So I sold that painting that day, and afterwards, I went and bought myself that rug, that exact same colors, and then I painted the painting to go with it. So this one is a good memory. The Hearts of Amenti. So this is from an extract from the Tablets of Emerald, when he talks about deep down the halls, I buried my spaceship until the day that it would rise up far above the waters. So that's the scene by the Sphinx, and there is Anubis, which is when I got my dog that looks just like Anubis. He was guiding me this whole time. And by the way, I wanted to talk about that because right now, you know how this network always talks about integrity and empathy and being a good person, and I'm being asked a lot of sacrifices. I had to quit my job within 24 hours. It's like I had to quit my job like yesterday, and I work in a school, and they were counting on me. We were in the middle of the exams just before Christmas, and it was just like, jump in a crocodile water. You have to show trust, like supposedly to go and work with the governments to build the Ministry of Sound and stuff. So I left them literally on the spot. I trusted. I left everyone. Really, I'm not like that. You're supposed to give some time for people to find your replacement for you, but I trusted, and I left my job, left everyone. After that, nothing happened. I lost my house. I had to get rid of my dog, get rid of my cat. Came back to France. I had to fraud to leave the United States and make loans, knowing that, I wasn't sure I could find a job right away. Of course, I'm hoping to pay them back and get a job right away that I can pay back. But the stress, just after I was done paying all my debt and having to take $10,000 in loans that I know I'm leaving, like, it's just like forcing people to do these things, and then I'm here rebuilding my life, finding a job, finding a boyfriend, finding a place, getting settled, and now it's like, now, of course, my priority is my career. I want to go to Paris. I want to marry a prince, have a family, and have kids and stuff. This is my bigger future, my goal that I want. But you have to care also about the consequences of your actions, of what you're doing. Like the restaurant, I'm going to work in a restaurant. I'm going to start working there next week, meaning in 2 weeks. Like if I'm gonna go work in Paris, you have to call me right now, and I have to go right now. I'm not gonna just start working and be like, hey, guys, sorry, I'm leaving. Mostly that she fired someone to hire me because she thought I'd be better. And like, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna leave them, leave everyone again, just, hurting people for my own little future. Like, you have to understand, you can't just ask people to act like assholes wherever they go just because they want to show that they trust and they prove that they have confidence in the network and the future. Like, so there's got to be some integrity here. If I'm gonna go to Paris, like, what else do you need? I've been writing books, I post every day. I'm like the biggest supporter of the United Nations, unpaid, every day of my life. I literally died for it. I lost everything because of it. So there's got to be some reciprocity and some respect. Of course, I'm grateful, like I said, all the time. I'm grateful for the support and the content you provide every day. I'm writing this book unpaid. You know, like, there's got to be some reciprocity as well. So yes, so I'm waiting for your phone call. I'm bringing art. I gave up everything for this. All my time, all my energy is for you, is for UNESCO and the United Nations and the Nobel Prize Committee, and campaigning for the Nobel Prize, for the Secretary General of the United Nations for this year, for the Trump administration for next year. I think they're doing an amazing work. Sometimes you clean the house and you have to shake all the carpets and you have to take everything out and you deep clean everything, and then it looks great. This is what's going on in the world right now. You can't just build a society upon a dictatorship. You have to clean before. This is what they're doing. It's heartbreaking to see the chaos, but it's got to be needed if they don't do it when you ask it nicely. So Metatron on the rocks, this one, you can see a little better. So the Thunderbirds and the Blue Angel, this is a reference to the prophecy of Pachacuti. When the condor and the eagle fly together in the sky, then the world will know peace. So the Thunderbirds, their actual symbol is a condor, and the Blue Angels, the eagle, the symbol of America. This is the logo of Teremana Tequila, because who doesn't like a good drink? Even though my friends call me an alcoholic, seriously. Like to have a drink, and yeah, and this is, of course, the engagement, the symbol of the Philosopher's Stone. Okay, the triangle, hermetic symbol with the triangle and the square and the circle in the middle. Okay, like that. The mystery. This is from a crop circle that was that appeared. Something like this. If you don't know what a crop circle is, of course, I'm sure you know. But these patterns that appear in the fields, okay, that are supposedly made by aliens, they're actually made by electromagnetic rays, like frequency, that come over. I've seen videos of how they're supposedly made, which I believe it's like little. I've seen them actually with my own eyes on the Copacabana in Bolivia. In Copacabana, these lights came over the lake and they were flying like this over the lake, and I've seen videos of how they're making crop circles, and it's like this, like little lights of energy that come over the field like this, and in 5 seconds it's done. It's not like they're coming down the field and do it. It's just a field of energy. So they probably program it. It's probably programmed to, radionics, cymatics and stuff like that. When you have a sound frequency, you've seen that. You have like a board and you put some salt on it and you put some different frequencies, and the salt starts changing shapes, right? Based on different frequency. This is exactly how they're making crop circles. You have this electromagnetic balls of energy that come, and depending on what frequency they're programmed on, they shape the field, right? See, here is the console. I've had a dream, a very, very vivid dream about, actually not even a dream, I was awake, it was a memory, it was a quantum, hypnotic quantum regression that I actually saw us in this console, sorry about my back accent, planning before this incarnation. Okay, what are we gonna do on Earth this time? And how we're gonna remove the nuclear weapons, how we're gonna educate people, we're gonna make them drawing, like Toad say, take them through the arts and follow the plan that you know of. This is the plan that we established before the incarnation. This is why some people are born with a life mission. I was writing about Jürgen Wedne-Friednes from the Nobel Peace Prize Committee. I was writing in my book about him, and I was looking at his resume, and you can see, from what he studied, the international politics, and then he worked for Doctors Without Borders. He became part of the board, and he was part of other boards for human rights. PEN International, which is an organization that defends freedom of speech, now the Nobel Peace Prize. So there is this whole continuity from a very young age of people who are committed to a cause. It's like you're born with it. It's your life mission. You don't even know why you like that. You don't necessarily, yes, there was a terrorist attack in Norway, but he wasn't part of the victims. Like, activists are born from either two paths. Either you're born with it, with the empathy, the character, it's like one of your life mission, or it's an event in your life, like what's going on in Iran with the journalists being imprisoned and stuff like that. It's an event in your life that is your wake-up call that you have to defend that mission. So it's either way. Either you're a victim of something, or you see someone close to you that is a victim of something, and you start defending that cause, like a wake-up call in the middle of your life. Or some people are just born with this life mission and are going to go in a cause, and they're going to work their whole life about it. Okay, that's me. I've always been like that, even before I was victim. Actually, I was victim of terrorism and all this stuff because I was speaking about these things, but I was, like I said, since I was a very young age, I was always traveling, interested in politics, defending indigenous rights and stuff, because this is what some people come to do, okay? And our global mission altogether, even we all have different paths. Some people go through military paths, some people go through activism, organization, United Nations. The path is to remove the nuclear weapon, our generation. That is our main mission, denuclearization, because after Second World War, like, we can blow up the planet. There's nothing more important. Like, if you blow up the planet, there's no more life on Earth. This as simple as that. It doesn't matter your political party, it doesn't matter your race, your nationality. Okay, if we blow up, it's over. It doesn't matter if you're rich, if you're poor, if you were planning to go to Mars or not, if you have billions of dollars for your next 10 generations, we're all gonna die. And if we don't, it's gonna be a very, very poor quality of life with radioactivity everywhere, because nowadays it's no longer just the United States that has the nuclear weapon. Okay, World War II, the United States blew a nuclear weapon in Japan, which was relatively safe for the rest of the world. It's an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, not too close to, a continent, and we were the only ones to have the nuclear weapon. Okay, but now everyone has it. So if one blows a nuclear weapon, the other one is going to send it, and then others, and then this is over. It's game over. That's why it's so important that it doesn't happen. And the best way is to stop building it. You know, I don't know why the United States keep building nuclear weapons when they're trying to have others not have it. But so far, the United States, they are the police of the world, and they've always been this. They've always come to help everyone in the world, to help kill dictators and stuff. This is the culture of the United States. So the rest of the world complains about them, but this is the culture. In France, our culture is arts, gastronomy, philosophy, intellectuals, you know, like the architectures, the cute little towns, the villages. It's old Europe, old town. There's a lot of century-old culture here. Then the Middle East, the architecture, you know, the Middle East, Egypt, all this stuff, it's all everything architecture, new constructions, even Singapore, all this stuff, you know. But the United States, it's technology. Technology and war is their culture. They're the best. They're the best. So this is their job to take care of it. Yes. Okay. So this one is the wish pouch. It's a Celtic symbol. This is the Star of David. This is actually my very, very, very first painting ever. This one I painted with Q-tips. I didn't even know that little paintbrushes existed, like very thin paintbrushes. I started with the Q-tips. So it's a very gross painting if you see it, but you know, whatever. So it still reminds me of course, the Israel and how many chances we gave them to establish a peace plan for Gaza. But if they want to end up like the rest of the dictators, I don't know. You know, I don't control the American military, but I think that he should really care more about what's going on in his own town. Anyways, this is Parallel Worlds. Parallel World, this is one of my biggest. This is a big artwork. It's a 24 by 30 inches plus the frame. It's very big. It's a really, really good painting with the Taurus in the middle, and all the hearts represent the doors, all the different paths, all the different opportunities that you have in your life, and different communities, and the door is always the heart. This one was inspired by I don't know if you know this show, Sliders and the Parallel Worlds, when they jump from one dimension to another dimension. So this is all the parallel worlds, and it's happened for me before to feel like I had jumped in another dimension. Like, for example, the lyrics of songs would be different. I'd be in a certain reality, and then something happens, a quantum shift, and then the lyrics of the song is different. I could swear that was the lyric of the song, and then I'm singing the song and the lyrics are different. Like little things like this. So I don't know who can verify that. Ask the International Space Federation. The Flower of Life, the Chacana, which is the Inca cross. This is, of course, I made thousands of videos about this, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. This is my anti-gravity equation, my equation for my next generation spaceship, based on natural, so thunder, natural spark of energy, temperature control, temperature control for crystal, vibration, acoustic frequencies, reverse magnetism for the propulsion, and steel, of course, because this whole energy circuit system is integrated within the walls itself of the spaceship. There's no motor. It's the whole thing is organically flying. Nautical star. Garden of Eden. This one is Quechua. So the central symbol is the Om symbol with a heart, and around it, it's some Quechua words that means. I think it means love and abundance forever, something like this. And you know that in Quechua, there's many words to say love. How we have one word to say love. In English, they have many words to say love. There is love for the child, love for like romantic love for a cause or passion, something like this. So it's interesting how every culture, every language, adapting to their society or their environment, the language becomes different. For example, in Inuit, they have, I think, 50 words to say snow, because of course they have different types of snow, you know? So that's cool. I love that. I love languages. I love anthropology, all this stuff. So this is Rainbow Bay. Mandala Rainbow Bay, yeah. This is my Christmas little ornament talisman. This is the triple moon candy. This one is a very powerful one with sigils. The sigils, I also have a whole workshop about how to build sigils, what they mean and stuff like that. This one is called Imagination. Inti, this is the god of the sun. This is a big painting, 24 by 30. This is the only artwork that was rejected from my Colors of Nature collection. You know, I made a 30 painting collection for the Children's Hospital of New Orleans. But this one was rejected because they thought it was too violent. It could scare the children. So I repainted it with the horse in a quiet position. So I still have it. So this one would be also available to see. I love that one. You know, they look so simple. My mandalas, mostly like this on picture, it doesn't give it justice because you have to see them with the dots, like it's a 3D almost. It looks, and it's all metallic colors, so they look like jewelry. They're very bright. Like all the paintings are gorgeous. They're beautiful. Like no pictures can give it justice to how beautiful. If you really want to see, you have to look at the videos. Go back to my YouTube. Go back to my very first videos. The very first videos on my YouTube. I was doing videos every time I would paint, and there you can really see the quality of the painting, how they look. I always take pictures in the sun and stuff like that. But I love that because it's so simple. And the whole goal of that collection was to encourage kids. And I made a mandala oracle with this collection that is ready to publish. It's completely finished with the text and everything. And it's like a game of how to help people like draw their paintings or create stories and stuff. And the message of the oracle is like, even if you're not very talented, or you don't think you're a painter, or you're an artist, like me, I'm really bad at drawing. Don't ask me to draw even a face, or don't ask me to draw a cat. Like I would do like a little round with two little triangle, like a little stick character. I'm so bad at painting. But with the right tools, with using what we have available and doing something simple, you can still make something beautiful. This is why I paint silhouettes, because I can't draw. Okay, so everything is geometry. Geometry is easy. It's just a circle. It's just a triangle. It's just little dots. I don't need to be able to know how to paint the portraits and stuff like that. This is just a skill I don't have. So it's easy to paint a background. It's easy to trace a line for the horizon. Then you do the waves effects with the colors. And then you just put the silhouette of the horse. And, you know, so it's just layers and layers and layers. And in the end, you can still create something beautiful. And then you're proud of yourself. You feel accomplished. So for the kids, this is amazing. I think my workshops are really, really great for from 8 years old to teenagers and then adults. All my workshops, adults loved it. So Inti, the 13 rays of the sun, the Inca gods. This is the 4 elements, okay, fire, air, earth, and water, with the Native American symbols here of the air, fire, water, and earth. So this is a Monet painting that I modernized with Rosé Picot's logo. So it's a cannabis champagne, prosecco, cannabis taste terpenes champagne logo that I just had fun. This is the background of the Monet painting, my favorite Monet painting, and I just added a little totem animal. It was just for fun. It was just a fun one. But I love landscapes. I can paint a landscape, but I cannot paint a character. This is all tracing paper. I find a animal or a picture that I like, and I use tracing paper, I copy it, and then I struggle to try to make it look real. The 10 Commandments of Business from Dean Graziosi. This is all his main advices: resources versus resourcefulness, faith over fear, the cost of inaction versus the return on investment, expense over investment, invest in yourself, say no so you can say yes. That's true. Commitment over convenience. What voice are you listening to? Your certainty must be stronger than everyone else. First step is always the scariest. What matters most to you? Being right or the relationship? But this is not just in Graziosi. I took a little bit of other things. Okay, so the KK logo. I've already made conferences about this one. The Road to Enlightenment. This one is just a drawing that I made, and then I had fun with my editing app. Okay, Touched by Grace. And finally, the lion, the Sphinx, and the pyramid. This is totally related to the conference that we had with Matthias De Stefano in front of the Sphinx in Egypt. It was amazing. The stage was literally in front of the pyramid of Giza in Egypt, and we spent a whole week there. He was doing all his conferences. There were music, concerts. The Pachauna came, like the grandmother came to do her blessings to everyone. And there were like blue beams like of light going over like this, over the pyramids. Oh, that was so great, so amazing. They had these Atlantan letters everywhere on the walls. I recommend you watch my documentary. I made a 2.5 hours documentary. I filmed everything. They didn't hire me for it. I just bought a camera and I filmed everything because I didn't know if someone was going to do it, and actually nobody did that. They didn't have someone to do it, and I wanted them to have a memory that we could remember this event, because you go to an event like this once in a lifetime. It was for the 2/2/2022, so February 22nd. Wow, yeah. So I filmed all the decors, all the conferences, not all of it, of course, because that's not my content, but I was doing it for him. I recorded most of all the conferences, the concerts, the interviewed guests. We did some oracle cards readings and stuff. Wow, the movie is so good. It's so good. And at the end of the movie, I put a podcast from the Masterminds as well. It's the best movie in the world. Can't believe it hasn't been produced yet. And this is me here, okay, after my 200 applications to work at the United Nations. Honestly, guys, Yeah, it's time. It's time, like don't take too much advantage of people because um yeah, it's been a long time that I'm doing this for the UN and for the network, and sacrificed a lot and asked more sacrifice, but the reciprocity, when, and hurting people in the process, like losing my family, like my dog, my cat left behind, that they think, why did she abandon us? Now, like I said, I'm gonna work in a restaurant. Like the lady, she's counting on me. I'm the only waitress. So if I'm not gonna go, I need to tell her right now. And so let's schedule the phone call. Let's have that interview. Please, you just have to look at my social media. This is all. This is all the people that inspired me in the journey. Not all of them, but a lot of them. The masterminds, Billy Carson, his wife Elizabeth, his ex-wife, my son, of course, the Resonance Science Foundation. These are all my campaigns for the Nobel Prize. Elon Musk, of course, his contribution to science and physics and technology is lifetime achievement for him. The Secretary General of the United Nations, Kim Kardashian, of course, she's the most beautiful woman in the world. Everything she does it better, so inspiring. Goals to have in life, and of course the United Nations, so the humanitarians, he has been working all his life for the United Nations, and he represents all the people who dedicate their lives to helping others. So definitely him and Donald Trump in competition for the Nobel Prize, but that's his last year as Secretary General. So I think this is the best time right now to give him the prize. And Donald Trump, they're still at it. They're still at it. Everything they've done last year, this year, for Venezuela, for Iran. He's definitely, already, we're only in March, but he's definitely the candidate for next year's Nobel Prize. And I'm going to make sure that I'm inventorizing. I'm gathering all the information from everything that you guys are doing with the Department of War, the Secretary of State. I think that him, Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, and Pete Hegseth, they should all share the Nobel Peace Prize in 2027. Because they're just a great team. And they've been through, Pete Hegseth. I wrote about his biography yesterday also. Not everything. I copied the biography that's on the Pentagon's website. But if you look also at the journey, he was fired from the military because he was a Republican. And, and from other personal stories and tattoos and stuff. But this is ridiculous. I go online and I comment something on the Secretary of State's page, and people, like, I'm just literally asking a question. I'm like, what about the political transition in Venezuela, not just the oil? Because they're like, oh yeah, we got the oil. I'm like, what about the political transition? They should have a new president, not another narco trafficker. And people like literally come and insult me on messages, things they would never even do in real life. People would never come and talk to you like this in real life. They insult you like, oh, you all Democrats, whatever. This is what you guys allowed. It's not your business. First off, yeah, it's my business, because what they're doing with our tax money and whatever is happening in the world is everyone's business. So yes, it's my business. And then they're, oh, you all Democrats, shut up, things like this. I'm like, that's ridiculous. People are just being fired because they're a Republican, or you can ask if you ask a question, you're a lunatic Democrat. Like, that's ridiculous. Okay, I don't belong to any political party. Like in France, we don't care about political party. This is really an American thing. It's like you're a Republican or you're a Democrat and we hate each other. It doesn't matter. But in France, it's not like that. We care about the problem. Okay, how are we going to solve the problem? I don't care if you're Right now, Republicans are in power. We have to work with them. And last time it was the Democrats. We have to work with them. Like, if you want to change the world and make things better, it doesn't matter your political party. We work together and we show the two perspectives of the problems and we find solutions together. And sometimes we're not on the same page, sometimes we are on the same page, sometimes we agree. They have informations that I don't have, maybe I have informations that they don't have. This is what we share. During the biggest example is the Department of Homeland Security and what they did to the immigrants. There are, everything you see on X is, oh, the criminal immigrants, they come, they rape people, they steal, they're committing crimes. Of course, there are a lot who do that. It's not their home. They come here, they're broke, they're angry, they're committing crimes. I know, because a lot of my students were their kids who came here. And some of them were absolutely amazing babies and families that wanted to reach the American dreams, that were escaping guerrillas, that were escaping poverty, environmental catastrophes, or in Cuba, there is no food, there is no jobs. So they had no choice. Just like I left America, no food, no jobs. I mean, my job, but I couldn't afford my lifestyle anymore with my job, so I was going to be homeless. So I ran away and I came back here, but thank God I had somewhere to go. So back to mommy's house. But when you don't have nowhere to go, what do you do? And I had to commit fraud to leave the United States. Yes, and I'm a good person and I pay my debts and I'm a hard worker. I've worked all my life and I'm honest. And still, I had to commit fraud. A lot. So to be able to not end up homeless. So that's understandable that people come, escape violence, escape guerrillas, and they're on survival mode. So I shared the story of my students that were telling me the stories, the good people, good families. I know their parents. I went to their house. They are good people. They're amazing. They're so welcoming. They just want to have their kids go to the university, have better chances, escape the dictatorships. But if people don't know, they only believe what they see on X, the violence, the crimes. If it bleeds, it leads. That's what they say. So have all the bad news, but we don't hear about the good families, the good stories. This is why I published the interview. But once again, that was illegal. I'm a fraud. Everything I do is a fraud because it was against the rules of the school to film the students without the parents' consent and to publish all that. That's illegal. I could have gotten fired. Actually, I had a disciplinary action for doing this. But okay, but I'm taking the risk because someone needs to hear their story. If nobody hears their perspective, everybody's gonna keep hating on them. And I was calling the parents. I was like, please sign the authorization for me to post the stories. They were like, no. And I know I did it anyways, but because I told them, I was like, I know you're scared, I know you're hiding, I know you don't want to, you want to be low key, and I'm just risking my job, but you're risking your whole entire life. Actually, I did lose my entire life. But I was like, I'm taking risk, there's more risk for you, but at the same time, if you don't stand up for your rights, you don't fight for the cause, who better than you is going to defend yourself? So that's why I kind of low-key, but I posted it to the right people. I posted to the US government. I posted not to the Homeland Security, but I posted to the White House. I posted to Elon Musk, like people who are influential, who can tame their speech a little bit. But I had some students that were coming here angry. They were angry because they were away from their family. They were treating like criminals from here. They hated Americans. Like, one of my students, he came here, he wanted to kill everyone. He was like, I'm gonna kill someone, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you, whatever. So I was just always after him. He was like, just leave me alone, you're so annoying. I was like, yeah, I'm annoying, you don't know me, that's what I am annoying. I don't let go. So you're gonna see me every day, I'm gonna talk to you every day. If you have a problem, you come talk to me. If you want to fight, then come, don't hurt me, but come talk to me and stuff. And then after that, I mentored him every day, and I just was so annoying because I was so nice to him, and he was annoying because he wanted to fight. And so I didn't give him that back, and I wasn't like, oh, you're a bad kid. I was just like, come on, you're gonna be the leader, you're gonna protect, you wanna fight, and you're gonna protect all your peers, you're gonna be the leader of the group, blah blah blah, you're the strong guy and stuff. And that's what he became. He became the leader of his group, and he was protecting his friends and stuff. And then he calmed down, where he was still fighting once in a while, but overall he was a good kid. So the more they generate this hate toward this community in the news, online, and the more it generates it. But of course, it's not acceptable that they come to a country to mess it up and commit crimes. And mostly the frauds that you saw in Minnesota, and that the Democrats, they let this happen, the Somali, like, you coming here to literally build a whole fraud business? Come on, seriously? Like, show better, because you're shaming your entire community, the reputation of your entire community. But this is how you have to talk. You have to show the both sides, to have empathy, but at the same time to not accept the things that are unacceptable. So that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this hour video. I know everyone is busy. If you're taking a whole hour to watch this, then I'm appreciative of your time, and I hope to go to Paris really soon. Like I said, I'm ready to go yesterday. However, remember that the more you wait and the more you play game with people's lives, the more people get hurt, and that's not acceptable. And for me, there's no, everybody has a heart, everybody has a soul. You don't want to confuse and hurt people and blackmail. We're making choices. My choice, my choices, it's been made for a long time. I claim it every day. So I'm ready to go. But don't make me wait here in isolation and go crazy and just be writing a book that I can write even better with the UNESCO and with amazing content from what they're doing there. All right? Okay. So have a great day, everyone. Thank you for watching.